Reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 3, Chapter 22 and Texts 29 and 30. Barhiṣmati nama puri sarvasampas samanvita nyapatan yatra romani yajnasyangam vidunvataha kushaha kashasta evasan shashvadharitavachsaha ऋषयो यैहि पराभाव्या यज्ञज्ञान यज्ञमीजिरे. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. Translation. The city of Barhiṣmati, rich in all kinds of wealth, was so called because Lord Vishnu's hair dropped there from his body when he manifested himself as Lord Bo. As he shook his body, this very hair fell and turned into blades of evergreen kusha grass and kasha, another kind of grass used for mats, by means of which the sages worshipped Lord Vishnu after defeating the demons who had interfered with the performance of their sacrifices. Purport by Srila Prabhupada. Any place directly connected with the Supreme Lord is called Pitasthana. Barhiṣmati, the capital of Swayambhu Manu, was exalted not because the city was very rich in wealth and opulence, but because the hairs of Lord Varaha fell at this very spot. These hairs of the Lord later grew as green grass, and the sages used to worship the Lord with that grass after the time when the Lord killed the demon Hiranyaksha. Yajna means Vishnu, the Supreme Personality of Godhead. In Bhagavad Gita, karma is described as yajnardha. Yajnardha karma means work done only for the satisfaction of Vishnu. If something is done for sense gratification or any other purpose, it will be binding upon the worker. If one wants to be freed from the reaction of his work, he must perform everything for the satisfaction of Vishnu or Yajna. In the capital of Swayambhu Manu, Barhiṣmati, these particular functions were being performed by the great sages and saintly persons. The sense the Bhaktivedanta purport. So we are seeing in this chapter Swayambhu Manu, an exalted personality, directly the son of Brahma. He is completed his responsibility, the main responsibility as a father, that is marrying the daughter, and so greatly relieved, he returned to his capital city, Barhiṣmati Namapuri. And what is the name of that city? It is Barhiṣmati. So capital means obviously it will be having all the opulences, because the king lives there, all facilities, all wealth is there. So sarva sampat samanvita. Bhagavatam is also describing that Barhiṣmati is full of sarva sampat, all kinds of wealth is present in the capital city. But most importantly, Bhagavatam is not glorifying Barhiṣmati because of the wealth, but because Nyapatan yatra romani, this is the exact place where romani yajna. So yajna means here it refers to Lord Varaha. So Lord Varaha angam vidunvataha, when he shook his body, sometimes when we take a dip in the river, a water body, when you come out, you shake, so that the water comes. So similarly, Varaha, Lord Varaha, he lifted the earth on his tusks and he shook his transcendental body. And so few hairs fell in this particular place, Barhiṣmati Namapuri. So this is not an ordinary place, a place where the transcendental hairs of the Supreme Lord, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, who is actually a form of yajna, yajnasyanga. So Vishnu or Varaha is personified yajna or personified Vedas. The Vedas, they describe various yajnas for the satisfaction of Vishnu. So he is personified Vedas, and so those hairs fell. And then what happened to those hairs? Kusha kashasta evasan shashvadharita varchasaha. They became evergreen kusha grass and kasha grass, two types of grass which are very dear to the sages, unsaintly persons. All the sadhus, they use this kasha grass for making mats, and then they sit on the mat and then they chant Gayatri, which is a Vedic hymn, so which is also part of Lord's transcendental body. It's a personification. And so then kusha grass, we always use kusha grass. Whenever there is an eclipse, the solar or lunar, we put kusha grass to ensure that into the items, to ensure that they don't get contaminated by the influence of the eclipse. So like that, these kusha and kasha grasses are meant for yajna, yajnam ijire. So they are very important parts of performing yajnas for the satisfaction of the Supreme Lord. So Barhiṣmati is not only known as Sarvasampat Samanvita, but it is also known for this great yajnas. Always yajnas are going on, and the sages are performing these yajnas using the kusha and kasha grasses and various other ingredients. So this is the Swayambhu Manus, the first Manus city. The important point is, it's not only the Sarvasampat Samanvita, but also there is a culture of satisfaction of Vishnu by performance of various sacrifices. So a city can have balanced life only if it can have these two. One is building up of this wealth, all kinds of opulences, but at the same time there should be grand sacrifices for the satisfaction of Vishnu. So if the yajna is missing in the city and people are only interested in building big skyscrapers, 60 floor, 70 floor, then bandhanaha, somewhere they'll all be implicated in such works. So that's why, so this is a very interesting city. It has set an example how cities should be developed. Cities should be developed only if there is a huge opportunity for sacrifices. But this Kali Yuga, see, Swayambhu Manu is in a different age, different time, and so those kind of yajnas are flourishing in the city. And but this is a different age, Kali Yuga. It is not easy to get even kusha grass. What to talk about performance of some big sacrifices? Sometimes you don't even get kushagrass. Sri Radha Govinda. So that's why the recommended process for yajna. See, yajna is compulsory. Every human being, under all circumstances, he should do yajna, dana and tapa. These three are compulsory. So yajna is compulsory, that means sacrifice for Vishnu's pleasure, and then dana, charity, for the purpose of propagating these sacrifices, and then tapa, everybody has to do tapas. At least on Ekadashi day, he should not eat grains, and then only focus on improving his chanting and devotional practices. Of course, he can also do aggressive preaching. You can approach many people and then try to tell them about chanting and Ekadashi and all these three. Yajna, dhana, tapa. So yajna is compulsory. Nobody should give up on yajna under any circumstance. So that's why, but these things, practical difficulties are there. Kusha, kasha, grasses are not there. We don't even know what is kasha grass. They are not available and ingredients are in shortage. Even if they are available, they are very costly. So it's not a method that is applicable for, that can be practiced for, whole population. Imagine whole city, in every family they want to do yajnas, the regular yajnas every day, and then put big yajna kundas and then trying to do. Not possible, because they are not available, the ingredients are not available. So that's why Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, who is the Yogavatar, he has given a direct process. Yajna is also a direct process to touch Krishna, touch Vishnu. Similarly, he has given one more process to directly satisfy Krishna, who is the original Vishnu. What is that process? Of chanting the holy names of the Supreme Lord. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. So, the city will be called as a living city, a balanced city, if it can give opportunities for this Sankirtana, this Sankirtana Yajna. In every street and in every corner of the city, there should be Sankirtan everywhere. As soon as there is Sankirtan, whole traffic should stop. And then the Sankirtana should proceed and then everybody should listen to it. And then like in Singapore, there is a traffic custom. There will be a lot of cars going, continuously zooming past in the road. But if any pedestrian wants to cross the road, he was trying to cross, all vehicles will stop. And they will say, yeah, please go. And then so that person walks. They give value for people who walk, not people who drive, boom, and then pollute the environment and pollute everything. So they know that. So they give value for the person who walks. So similarly, the city administration, the city, they should ensure that they give extreme importance to this performance of yajna. Without this yajna, the cities will become ghostly haunted. They always be in need. Even basic facilities will be in need. Water will not be available. Long ago in 60s, when Prabhupada was physically present, when he was about to come to Hyderabad, already Hyderabad was reeling under the there was no rain, shortage of rain, and for almost for 2 years or 2.5 years, the whole Andhra, including Hyderabad, is reeling under that drought condition. And as soon as Prabhupada came here along with his disciples, and then he performed a tumultuous, ecstatic kirtan with all the devotees dancing and jumping and then roaring with the holy name, immediately there were rains. On the very same day, many newspapers historically recorded this, that Prabhupada brought rains to Andhra by his Sankirtan. They are historically recorded. Bhagavad Gita confirms that without yajna, no chance of rains. Parjanyad yajna sambhavaha. Parjanyad. Parjanya means rains are possible only by yajna. So that's why this is compulsory. Every human being should be trained in this yajna, sacrifice for the pleasure of Vishnu. So the cities should be so planned that they give priority to these yajnas. Otherwise, the cities will be always be lacking something. So this shaking of the body of Lord Varaha, it was described in the Bhagavatam elsewhere when it is describing Lord Varaha's incarnation. It says, Vidunvata Vedamayam Nijam Vapu. This Lord Varaha's body is Vedamaya. This is actually personification of the Vedas. That means when Krishna says Vedaischa Sarvair Ahameva Vedyaha, repeatedly it is been told that all the Vedas you will find only one thing, an urge to understand Krishna. If somebody is scrutinizing Vedas, that means he is scrutinizingly studying Krishna's form. If somebody is scrutinizingly decorating deity, he is scrutinizingly studying Vedas. That's what it means. The pujaris are daily worshipping and nicely decorating the deity Radha Govinda. Don't think they don't know Veda. Don't think they are very simple people. No, actually they have studied scrutinizingly more than anybody else. As they understand the form of the Lord more nicely, with excitement and with happiness, they decorate the deities. He is the knower of all the Vedas. You should know that. He is actually decorating the personified Vedas. That is Vedamayam. And then he says, Nijam Vapu Janastapa Satya Nivasino Vayam. It is talking about the inhabitants of the pious planets like Jana, Tapa, Satya. Shata Shikodhuta Shivambu Bindu Vimrujyamana Brushamesha Pavita. O Supreme Lord, undoubtedly we are inhabitants of the most pious planets. They are offering their praise to Lord Varaha. They are saying we are already occupying the most pious planets, the Jana, Tapa and Satya, but still we have been purified by the drops of water sprinkled from your shoulder hairs by the shaking of your body. So, Bhagavatam, you see how consistent. Here there is a mention of shaking of the body, and we will see further in later chapters Varaha's appearance. So when he shook the body, not only that some hairs fell, but it appears that his hairs are up to his shoulder. They are so nicely up to his shoulder, and shoulder tips has that water because he is coming out of the water body, Garbhodaka ocean. And so from the tips of those hairs, some water got sprinkled on all these inhabitants of the higher planetary systems. So the hair fell in the Barhiṣmati city, and the sprinkled water fell in these upper planetary systems, Jana, Tapa, Satya, Lokas, and they themselves felt purified. Whether water comes from the tips of the hairs of the Lord or from the toes of his lotus feet, it is called Ganges. It is same as Ganges, the highly purified, the water of the which touched the lotus feet of the Lord from his body. So this is so that sprinkling has purified them. So any place which has got a direct connection like that with the Supreme Lord, it is called Peethasthana. It is a Peethasthana. And there is one place like that in Hyderabad, which is called Peethasthana, and that is Hare Krishna Golden Temple. How is it Peethasthana? Here is the place where Lord Shiva has performed tapas to have darshan of Lakshmi Narasimha. And it is said that when Lakshmi Narasimha appeared, Lord Narasimhadev touched the head of Lord Shiva with his conch shell. That's why you see our Lord Shiva has a small conch shell. Nobody knows. The confidential pastime. So he is known as Panchajanya. Panchajanya has on his head, so is Panchajanyeshvara. So, auspicious place. Lot of yajnas and sacrifices would have happened in this Peethasthana. And we all have opportunity to render some services here. Not ordinary. It is connected directly to the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So since devotees are performing sacrifices and Peethasthana, certainly Sarva Sampas Samanvita, everything will come. All the appearances that are required for satisfaction of Vishnu, automatically they will be available. So Prabhupada is mentioning, he is quoting this famous word, Yajnadha karmano anyatra lokoyam karma bandhanaha. This is a very important principle of living in this world. What is that? Our actions, activities should be performed in such a way that they are pleasing to Lord Vishnu. We should execute our activities in such a way that they are pleasing to Lord Vishnu. Activities means our thinking, our feeling, willing, behavior, everything. Our words, they all should be pleasing to Lord Vishnu. This is the goal of a devotee. We should talk, we should act, we should behave in such a way that it gives pleasure to Guru and Krishna. What pleases Krishna, how do we know? It is only the spiritual master who knows, and then he guides what pleases Vishnu. We cannot imagine or we cannot concoct what pleases Krishna, what pleases Vishnu. It has to come down from the Acharya. So if we can follow the spiritual master and mold our thinking, our thoughts, our words and our actions accordingly, then it will be very pleasing to Guru and Krishna. That's why a pure devotee who is serving the Lord with manasa, vacha and karmana is extremely dear to Krishna. He is very pleasing to the Supreme Lord. Why? Because in all the spheres of his actions, he is always giving pleasure to the Supreme Lord. So this is the cardinal principle of our movement. Whatever we do, we should enhance the pleasure of Guru and Krishna. That should be our goal. So, when we, our thinking, when we think, we should think in line with Guru's order. So when, let us say, some thoughts are coming, we should examine whether these thoughts are in line with what Prabhupada is given to us. Then our words, it should match what Prabhupada has written in his books and explained in his lectures and various other occasions. Whether my words are in line with the parampara, whether my preaching or whether my talking, it could be an ordinary talking between some two people, but still it should be on the basis of Veda, on the basis of Prabhupada's teachings. So this is the examination of a devotee. Whether his thoughts are in line, his words are in line with Prabhupada's teachings, and if these two are in line, automatically the behavior or actions also will be in line with the teachings. Sometimes the actions may not be in line, although we may know all the philosophy, but one should continue to hear and practice devotional service so that even those actions also will fall in place. Sometimes we may not have the thinking or we may not have feeling, but action should be done. Once somebody in the beginning days asked Prabhupada, Prabhupada says that we should pay obeisances to the Supreme Lord, the deity form. We should pay obeisances to Guru. So one disciple comes and asks Prabhupada, I am not feeling like paying obeisances. What should I do? Then Prabhupada says, keep aside your feelings. First do. Feelings will come automatically. These three are connected. Even if there are no feelings and you are not thought over, just follow Guru's order. And if by following Guru's order, slowly you will develop feelings for it. Go on paying obeisances, and one day you start feeling for it. Oh, today I have not gone for paying my obeisances. No, I should go. That's a feeling. You start feeling that something is missing. So, this entire sadhana program is meant for creating that feeling of separation. This is very crucial. Just by doing, gradually we develop that consciousness, those feelings and those bhavas. That's why, so this is the parampara discipline. We are all trying to be disciples of Srila Prabhupada. What is disciple? Disciple means discipline. And what is discipline? Discipline means obedience to the spiritual master. This is called discipline. So, if we want to be first class disciple, then we have only one worry, whether my thoughts, words, actions are in line with the my Guru's orders or not. This is called disciplic parampara system. For example, if somebody is talking, giving a class, let us say, in his mind there is a pressure that yes, I should be in line with the parampara. We should not talk something which is, simply taken from somewhere or his own concoction. No. This is the difference between so many speakers we see on the TV channels or various other channels, and the speaking of people who are coming in parampara. People who are coming in parampara, they have that parampara obligation. There is a duty towards the parampara. What is that? We should keep our teachings which we have received from Prabhupada as it is. We should ensure that those teachings are passed down as it is. Not to add our own imaginations, but to pass down those teachings which are preserved for so many millions of years. Because this Vedic wisdom is directly Krishna. It is Brahman. In the Shabda Rupa, it is Brahman. So, it has to be passed as it is. Then only there is a power. Like sometimes, many times, people, when they glorify Prabhupada, that Prabhupada, you have done a big miracle. Prabhupada used to say, if at all I have done something, that is to present the teachings of Krishna in Bhagavad Gita as it is. Prabhupada gave those teachings as they are, and already those teachings are directly Krishna, Varaha, and as soon as people came in touch with these teachings, the sound vibrations, immediately there is a big transformation in the heart. People understood the reality of life in this world. They understood the importance of yajna. They understood the importance of being connected to Krishna in their words, mind, and by their actions. So these are some of the points here. Any questions? Sri Prabhupada ki jai, Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai.